Hello, brothers. Thank you for joining us for the Feeding America Advanced webinar. I want to start off by introducing myself. My name is Joe Citro. I serve as the Chief of Executive Affairs for the fraternity, and I oversee the Feeding America Partnership as well as strategic initiatives and partnerships. Now, our agenda for this webinar will involve everything from philanthropy and community service, why do we partner with Feeding America, planning a service and philanthropy event, involvement of members, partnership with local food bank, volunteering, advocacy, the resources the general fraternity provides, a reporting form, and talking about our impact and how we're making a difference in our communities. So with that, let's get started. Philanthropy and community service defined. So community service, as you can see, is defined on hands-on community engagement done outside of class or coursework. Philanthropy is raising and donating money or collecting and donating items. Then service learning is community engagement done for credit in conjunction with academic coursework. So for example, a community service, that would be defined as a chapter going and volunteering at the food bank. It's a hands-on community engagement. Philanthropy could be a canned drop-off where you drop off the bags to pick them up a week later with canned goods, or a teeter-totter-thon or some sort of event that raises money or collects items. Service learning is just dependent upon your university. So some chapters will have their campuses which have a service learning component built in. Now, in regard to parameters for your event, or events, I should say, we really are encouraging chapters to live out our values, to plan events that do that allow the opportunity for others in the community or other, whether it's Greek life organizations or campus organizations, to get a better understanding of living the values of service and stewardship. So we encourage you as you plan your philanthropy events and community service events to make sure that they are in line with our values. Why do we partner with Feeding America? This is an important question to ask your membership and educate them on why. Why do we partner with them? Why are we partnering with the food banks and addressing this issue of hunger? It shouldn't be because we're supposed to. It shouldn't be because it's something that we find that we were forced to do or required to do. You should hopefully get answers to the fact that people will say that we want to give back to our community, that we want to make an impact on campus, we want to challenge those around us to live our values and make a difference. So it's really important to educate your membership on why we're partnering with the food banks and why we're partnering with Feeding America. It's, again, just an important question to get the understanding of the chapter membership behind. So how do you get involved with Feeding America, and a little bit more of a partnership overview. The role of everyone involved, so the role of the local chapter continues to be the same. Our hope is that you host an event to raise canned goods, you volunteer at the food bank, you advocate for this cause in some capacity. That role has generally remained the same. The role of the food bank is to provide you with resources and assistance as you need it, to work with you to schedule volunteer opportunities, as well as the opportunity to be invited to your philanthropy events. We have food banks and chapters and that partnership where a representative from the food bank will gladly come out to campus, speak to the chapter membership, will gladly attend philanthropy events and talk a little bit more about the cause, educate the masses that are attending your events. So that's the role of the food bank. And then the role of the general fraternity is really to be a resource for you. So your point of contact should be the local food bank or myself if you have any issues reaching out to the local food bank. Now, what you also want to do is set an overarching goal for pounds raised and money collected. And we'll get into that in a minute here as we talk about the logistics. But it's very important for you all that you look at what you think is achievable. So when you're looking at that goal setting, for example, a fraternity, we have a goal overarching amongst our chapters to raise 4 million pounds of food, which is a huge, massive amount, but we feel confident over the past few years in the amount of food that we have raised that 4 million is quite tangible. So that is our goal. Again, your goal at the chapter level could be or should be something that is realistic, but also is a challenge. And it's going to be something that it's going to take some time for membership to work around and getting brothers involved to achieve. Logistics-wise, This is what we encourage you all to do in terms of walking through and planning out exactly what you need to do and when you need to do it by. When we get into the General Fraternity Resources, I'll be glad to show you all a task list, but it's very important for you as you're looking at as High Theta, as planning this event and organizing it, that you logistically have everything structured as to what needs to be achieved by when and by who. So task lists are crucial. Not only is it everything from the big overarching things of or tasks such as we need to get the teeter-totter set up for teeter-totterathon, but you also are going to need to focus on the smaller little things of who's going to make sure that we have all the small things like a megaphone we need to communicate to people that day of the event, small things like that, just making sure that you have and can knock out everything and every task you need to have knocked out. The promotion of the event, this is where it goes to utilizing different mediums. What I mean by mediums is utilizing social media, as I'm sure as one medium that the chapter will use to promote their event, using flyers, banners, also word of mouth, so speaking and attending the chapter events for other sororities or fraternities or other campus organizations, and basically creating, again, going to logistics, creating an overarching plan on how you're going to promote your event, how you're going to market your event to campus and to other individuals. Involvement. This is something that I really would encourage you all to really spend a lot of time on as you look at involving your chapter membership. What we have seen is that our chapters are having some challenges getting brothers involved or getting most of the chapter involved in their events. So I can't stress enough how important this is. We'll actually go into a whole different slide here. So involvement of the membership really starts with getting buy-in from the members. For example, if you all have spent a lot of time and have worked through an event that you've done in the past, maybe it's something that the brothers like, maybe it's something that they don't necessarily like, but you have to get buy-in from the membership. So what I mean by that is plan out your event, or if it's an event you've done in the past, maybe make your tweaks to it, and just mention that at chapter meeting. Bring in the chapter, hey guys, here's what we want to do, here are my thoughts. Is there any other feedback or any other thoughts you have for this event? You're allowing them the opportunity to provide you with that feedback, to get their thoughts and to be bought into your event or events. Giving brothers ownership of the event, what I mean by that is you probably should have a committee to help you plan these events, or at least give certain brothers ownership of certain tasks. So going back to the logistics and the task list, it's important to say, okay, delegating out-wise, hey, brother, can you help me out with organizing, coordinating the promotion of our event and how we're going to do that? Can you also assist with setting up times to speak to the sororities and doing that so we can educate them on our event? Just making sure you're giving brothers that ownership, even if it's smaller little tasks, that will allow them to feel more bought in, to feel like they're a part of this. Again, as with everything in Lambda Chi, you get out of it what you put into it. Small tasks, so that again could be talking to a group of sorority women. That could also be as simple as getting some of that chapter membership that isn't necessarily always involved to give them a little bit of a role. One chapter we had that they gave as High Theta, part of his event budget, he gave $100 to the chapter, and the chapter took those members took that $100 and were able to buy a designed banner that they could hang up for their event. So something small and simple to maybe get those brothers that aren't as involved in things is also another great way to keep up that involvement throughout the chapter. And that leads me to involvement not only in the chapter but outside of the chapter. For a majority of our men and for our chapters, they have partnered and worked with the Greek life for fraternities and sororities to attend their events. What we're really encouraging our chapters to do is to branch out past that. So as High Theta, I'd encourage you to see, if you're at a smaller school, maybe see if sports teams want to get involved. If you're at a big school, see if other campus organizations want to get involved. We all know that there are hundreds of campus organizations in small schools and in large schools. So it's just tapping into that a little bit and seeing who else can get involved. Not only is it an opportunity for you all to make new connections, but it's an opportunity also to meet some new people, to meet some other organizations, and to have some other organizations learn more about what Lambda Chi Alpha is about, learn more about the values and how you all are impacting the community. In regard to the partnership with the local food bank, it's important to find out who is the best or most responsive contact. That will usually be your volunteer coordinator. There is at all food banks at least one volunteer coordinator, if not more than one, usually at least a few volunteer staff. It's important to meet with your contact in person. Probably once a semester is a very good idea. Not only will it be an opportunity for you to learn more about the cause, but meeting with them will also allow you to ask them what they need from volunteers. So for example, some food banks might need certain items certain times of the year where that's really what they're requiring. So if you're looking at having a food drive or a volunteer-based event, whatever it is, they might say, this is the time we really need chapter membership to participate. Also, in terms of what they need, they just might need consistently to have a few volunteers. You could talk through what that would look like, but it's important to build that relationship up with the food bank. And what leads me to the next point is stressing the follow through with what you say you will do. So, for example, if you're going to volunteer at the food bank and you're going to say you're going to send 20 people, be sure to send 20 people. If you're going to say we're going to raise $1,000 for the food bank, make sure you raise $1,000 for the food bank. This allows you to continue to build that trust within the partnership, and that goes both ways too. I would encourage you to reach out to the food bank. Hey, we've got our volunteer event or we've got our philanthropy event on campus. We'd love to have you out there to be a part of that event and share a little bit about what this hunger issue means. So it is both sides, but really can't stress enough the follow through on what you say you will do, because that allows the food bank to know you all are reliable, that you all are trustworthy, and allows you to continue to build upon the foundation that you've created. It's also important when you look at partnering with the local food bank after you have a volunteer event or after you volunteer work at the food bank in some capacity, be sure to assess it. Be sure to talk to the chapter brothers and say, hey, what went well? What did you guys like? What didn't you like? What are some new things or new ideas that you have that we can do? And then collaborate. Talk to the local food bank and say, hey, the brothers liked when we volunteered and packed backpacks for the kids. They felt like that was more meaningful. Could we do that more in the future? They're glad to usually work with you all to determine what it is that you all want to do and what you will feel will make a larger impact, not only in the community, but for yourselves. But the expressing of gratitude, that goes both ways. So expressing gratitude for the opportunity to collaborate, that's as simple as writing them a thank you card, as simple as just talking with them or to them about the difference that they are making. But also on the flip side of it too, the food bank wants to know what you all are doing. They want to be able to share photos and take images of the chapter volunteering and the chapter making an impact in their community. So please pass on to them as well, because they want to show off the work you're doing. And you should get credit where credit is due. So can't stress enough how important that is as you look at partnering with the local food bank and building up that partnership. It really starts off, though, with contacting your local food bank, finding that person who's willing and able to talk with you, and utilizing them to build a relationship. In regards to volunteering, a volunteer hour is equivalent to over $22. And these are some overarching facts on volunteering. At the local food bank, you can have a variety of responsibilities, which include volunteering at the food pantry and helping clients, sorting and packing food, and packing and feeding programs. So for some of you all, you might volunteer at the local food pantry instead of the food bank. And the difference, to explain it, is view the food bank, if you will, as a sandglass. A bunch of donations will come in to the food bank, and the food bank is the pinch, if you will, of that sandglass, and then it will disperse out to food pantries needs and food and materials and whatnot. The food banks do offer a variety of volunteer opportunities, and that's usually where our chapters do volunteer. But if you're more interested in volunteering at the actual food pantry and working with the clients, the people that need that food, you're definitely welcome to do that. So that's a wonderful opportunity to really see firsthand the issue of hunger and how you're definitely making an impact on the front lines of that. Sorting and packing food, that really is something you do at the food bank. So that would be sorting through the food that's going to be packaged and sent off to the food pantries. And then packing and feeding programs. So many food banks, or I would say all food banks, have some sort of program or programs that they do to make sure the issue of hunger is addressed on a variety of levels. So backpacks, there's a backpack program at a majority of food banks for kids. These backpacks or backsacks are basically packaged meals that have a variety of different things in them. So volunteers will actually make these backpacks, if you will, and then they'll give them to students the way the student has something to eat during the weekend. Elderly packages or boxes, there's usually some programs at food banks where they assist and feed the elderly. So that is boxing goods and basically just assisting the elderly with something similar in terms of packaging different meals or different supplements you could put in that box, and that elderly people can come and pick that up. And then a mobile pantry, that's actually where you could work with the food bank to meet at a certain location, usually in a different area than the food bank, and that's an opportunity for you to, again, see the issue of hunger kind of on the front lines, if you will, as the pantry is something that's literally out of basically a big truck or a large van, and so you'll work on handing out the food to those that need it. So those are just some different volunteer opportunities. Those are a majority of the volunteer opportunities you'll see at the local food banks. Advocacy. Can't stress enough how important it is to educate brothers on why we're doing this and educate them about the issue. And this could be as simple as sharing something at chapter meeting where you're educating our brothers about the impact they are making and then why this issue is so pressing. So just some quick facts. 1 in 7 Americans struggle with hunger in the U.S. Feeding America, again, a wonderful opportunity to look at how 2 million volunteers contribute 8.4 million hours a month of service. That, again, just shows the impact. Again, going back to the $22 an hour, think if the chapter, if you even had half of the chapter there, how much money you're saving that food bank if you just go once a semester for 3 hours. So half a chapter, once a semester, 3 hours, you're probably saving them a large amount of money, or that way they can spend more time purchasing more food and allowing them to make a larger impact. So again, I can't stress enough how important it is to advocate for the cause, educate our brothers on why this is an issue, what you're doing to fight it, and volunteering at that food bank to kind of instill that difference. I now want to take some time to talk about the general fraternity resources that are provided. So just give me a second here. And in regard to those resources, we'll start off actually with the website. And so lambdachi.org/resources within this page. So there's a hunger action kit, videos, shirt designs, graphics, educational material. At the Female Resource Guide will go into depth in that in just a minute, but this is probably the information document as well as test that we've done before. So wealth of knowledge, the resource guide, we will start there. Service section and resources section. So about talks a little bit more specifics and the overview that we gave on this partnership. The service component, that talks about what we've done service-wise and what the chapters can do. So that's like volunteer task lists, things along those lines. Resource-wise, that's what we'll click on. So as you can see, there's one-pagers and task lists. We'll review the exhibits. So these are samples. For Exhibit 1, this is probably a common document that you have seen. This is the letter you would put onto and staple onto a bag when you do a bag drop-off. So this is a wonderful resource right here. All you have to do is just click on it, download it, and edit it to make it your own. There are some news releases that you can utilize, as well as this, which is a pumpkin bash example or template. So you can download this document and it will walk you through all the plan organization in terms of what you would give to, let's say, a sorority or a campus organization. So it's easy, it's editable. All you have to do is just update it. It's got a template for points that you can utilize to some different ideas there and event ideas. But again, that's the template, that's kind of the skeleton, and you all can make it your own. But just some wonderful examples. Can't stress enough how important it is for you all to utilize the Lambda Chi Alpha Phi America Resource Guide. In regard to task lists, as I mentioned before, Philanthropy Task List is an example of, as you're looking at planning your event, you've got to start basically with determining your event purpose. From there, it walks you through event date and filling out paperwork and finalizing reservations. See and notice that there's a due date on each date of the event. So for example, if we wanted to change the date of the event, obviously let's say it's not happening on November 1st. Let's say it's happening another date. All you have to do is just go in, click this box, and it'll self-populate the other due dates. So again, a wonderful resource, wonderful opportunity for you to edit this list as you need to add other items, which has occurred already September 21st, 25th, but look out for some have our spring volunteer week. A wonderful and easy list. I know it's kind of small to read, so you just got to zoom in a little bit here. Again, this is the volunteer coordinator list, and usual email, phone number, etc. So wonderful resource there. And then one of the last reporting, but donation or pounds you raise in the volunteer hours is you would just, but again, there's a variety of tools, resources that you can utilize and use. The link for the initial website is Lambda Chi Alpha, as General Fraternity can provide. And what we encourage you to do, again, from the chapters, the work you're doing. So if you have photos of the chapters volunteering and doing the volunteer work, we would love to see that. We'd love to utilize that, whether it's video or just pictures, all that is wonderful. So please, please, please pass that along. We'd be glad to post that on social media. And so, moving on into reporting, filling out your totals on Officer Portal. You'll need to have official documentation to provide for pounds raised and volunteer hours. You can submit more than one report a semester, and reporting will take place each semester. So December 11th is the deadline for that. Chapters over 15,000 pounds will receive an award. So, for example, pull up the Officer Portal form here so you all can take a chance what the form looks like. You did. And again, this is a great time to say as well, if you're not partnered with a Feeding America food bank, that is completely fine. We're just encouraging chapters to partner with a Feeding America food bank, or at least to develop a relationship with a food bank. The goal of Lambda Chi Alpha nor Feeding America is to take away any food from those in need. And if you've built a strong relationship with your local community partner, that is fantastic. If you have not, we're really stressing that you reach out to your local Feeding America food bank and connect with them. The financial donation total pounds raised, volunteer hours, all this type of information you'll input. You'll, again, have that documentation. So outside of the submission form I just showed you recently a few minutes ago, you can also, usually when you volunteer at the food bank, and you'll get some sort of documentation, so that's usually a form, or you'll get some sort of food bank receipt, let's say, for example, when you go and you donate your canned goods or money, they'll give you some sort of receipt. You can use that as documentation. We've seen chapters where they've gotten a formal letter on letterhead from the food bank, which states that this is the amount of money they raised. We've even gotten that in chapters have used documentation from the university, where the Greek Life office on their letterhead will say the amount of money in pounds that was raised for the local food bank, and endorsing that the chapter did do that. So just giving us some sort of documentation, that's just helpful so we can validate what the reporting form has said, that everything is correct. The only other thing that I would mention is this part up here. Please do not convert monetary donations to total pounds of food you raised. So, for example, if the chapter, let's say, raised $1,500 financially, so financial donation total is $1,500. Please, please, please do not convert that to pounds raised. So let's say at your local food bank, $1,500 for each dollar, that's 10 pounds of food. Let's say you put then $1,500 financial donation total and total pounds raised was 15,000. Please do not do that because you're double reporting your totals. So I can't stress that enough. Do not convert monetary donations to total pounds of food you raised. And you'll see that listed here on the top. Now, Hunger Action Month, September is Hunger Action Month. It's been a wonderful opportunity to see our chapters live out our values of service and stewardship. We would encourage you to host philanthropy and volunteer events to advocate for this cause. Continue to do that. Reaching out to your local food bank and developing that relationship. But September is always Hunger Action Month, and September 4th is Hunger Action Day itself. Another way you can advocate for this cause is Spoon Timber. It's an opportunity to take a spoon and buy a spoon. You can buy them at your local Target. Put it on your nose and take a photo, a spoon selfie, and then be sure to share that via social media and reach out to your friends, encourage them and challenge them to take a photo as well. So it's a wonderful opportunity, unique opportunity for you to advocate for this cause. In regard to thinking bigger, and as we look at what the impact you're making at the local level, it's important to also think about the larger impact you're making, whether it's in your larger community, whether it's in your conclave, or across the country and across North America. What we're stressing is that this is not just a one-and-done type of initiative. We hope that our chapters are hosting at least one philanthropy event and one community service-based event, aka volunteering at the food bank, once a semester, if not more. So just know that this is not just a once a year. This is not just one time a semester. We'll either do a volunteer event or a community service or philanthropy event. My apologies. This is just an opportunity for you all to consistently continue to live out our values. So looking at what works best for you is that having a few brothers each week volunteer at the food bank, or at least giving them the opportunity. What does that exactly look like? It's an opportunity for you all to think locally, again, your impact that you're making at the local level as well as internationally. I know a lot of brothers had mentioned the International Volunteer Week was so cool because they got to say to themselves, wow, look at the impact that Lambda Chi Alpha is making across the country during this week. It's an opportunity for you all to continue to build up your efforts and look at what you can do differently and how you can continue to build philanthropic, whether it's the programs that you have, so in terms of your events, to the education that you're providing with brothers about the hunger issue, things along those lines. And again, going back to just getting brothers integrated in the food bank, can't stress enough that that's a wonderful opportunity for them to realize the larger impact of what they're doing in their community and how they're assisting those in need. So our impact as an organization, just to kind of tie in everything, we've raised over 3 million pounds and meals as an organization this past year. Since our partnership with Feeding America, we've raised over 6 million pounds of food. So those are wonderful numbers to be happy about and to be proud of, brothers, because we have done some amazing work. And it all starts with the opportunity and the belief that this is a way for us to live our values and to really encourage others, whether it's other fraternity and sorority members or just in general other areas of the community on campus or in the overarching community, to do the same, to live values, to go out, to make that impact, to challenge others, to do some amazing work. Also, those opportunities to volunteer, to do philanthropy and community service create lifelong memories, a lot of good laughs, a lot of great opportunities to get to know brothers in a very different way. So it's something that's really, really cool and that we are encouraging our chapters to realize too, is the impact that you're making is massive. So conversion rates, just a kind of a quick side note, for every dollar raised, Feeding America can secure 10 meals, and for every dollar raised, Feeding America can secure 12 pounds of food. So those conversion rates are just something to be aware of. That is the national Feeding America headquarters office conversion rate. It will depend on your local food bank. Sometimes the food bank will defer to the Feed America's national conversion rates. Sometimes it's higher than Feed America's conversion rate. Sometimes it's lower than Feed America's conversion rate. It just kind of depends. But brothers, I just want to thank you for taking time to spend time with me. Overarching this, the quick recap of things. Really, what we're stressing, brothers, is that you all educate the chapter on why we're volunteering at the food bank, the impact that you're making. We encourage you to look at, when you're planning a service event, to look at the logistics about how you can get brothers involved, how you can encourage brothers and other campus organizations to get engaged. Also looking at how you partner with the local food bank, and a lot of that is a stress on volunteering and the impact that you all can make as a chapter as you look at what you can do differently, how you can give back to your community in a different way of volunteering at the food bank, as well as advocating for that cause. So how you can best educate chapter members on the issue of hunger and utilizing the resources that General Fraternity provides. So just wanted to provide that quick recap. My email is jcitro, JCITRO @lambdachi.org. My phone number is 317-803-7311. You can reach me there. I've talked to brothers about whether everything from event ideas of, hey, can we try this? Have you ever heard of this type of idea, and talking through event ideas, to even just talking overall broadly about how we can get more brothers involved and engaged in philanthropic and community service efforts. So my phone is totally reachable. I'm there for you all to answer any questions or provide any insight or feedback that I can. So I hope you all reach out to me if you do have questions. And the website again is www.lambda-chi-alpha.org/Feeding America. Well, brothers, thank you again for all your continued hard work. Thank you again for continuing to fight to end hunger in your local campus and community. And I wish you all the best.